So topic 1 would be understanding and preparing the scene for the lighting, which is important because whenever we light the scene, we need to keep some things in the mind, which we are going to see in further line, right? Topic 2 would be adding directional light and sky atmosphere to the scene. Topic 3 would be covering adding skylight, volumetric clouds, and exponential height fog to enhance the scene. In topic 4, after we have done the lighting, now we need to set our camera and our post-process settings to light the scene, basically give it a like X factor, right? In topic 5, I would be also covering that apart from Unreal default light system, we can also create our own light system with the help of HDRI lighting, right? And at the end of the session, we can just close with some tips and we can do a question answers if you guys want. So we can do that also. Okay. Sir, is my net speed okay, no?
Yeah, all good, Viral, all good.
Okay, great. Okay, so let me show you what we are going to do today. So I have prepared some things. I will just show you guys. Just a second. Okay, I can also share this project file if you want. If you guys want, you can study it also. So I have prepared 3 scenes for you basically. So this is the 4K renders which I have created in Movie Render Queue. So this is the first result. Maybe it would lag a bit, right? But you guys can see what we are going to achieve lighting wise. So this is a custom made HDRI lighting which I have created. This is the scene which I have rendered it, right? So you can see the details, the depth of field. We can see the exponential height fog, which is far away, right? We are having a moody scene like overcast weather with some sun rays coming on the beach, right? This is one scene. Now I am also having the second scene. So let me show you the MOV file which I am having. All right. So yes, here it is. Okay. And if time persists, I will also show you how to render it in Movie Render Queue. All right. So this is the scene. Basically, I have not added much elements in this because I wanted to keep it simple so that you guys can understand how light works, how we can light the scene overall. Right. This is the second shot. Let me show you a render of that because I haven't rendered it properly yet. So this is the sunset scene, which is totally created in Unreal. I haven't done any post-processing yet in any application like Nuke or After Effects. The sun, the rays which you are seeing, it's all done in Unreal only, right? This is the second scene. Yes, I have created water also. So it's also in Unreal only. So this is the second scene which we are going to create. So we will create this also. And the macro shot, which is popular these days, right? So a starfish shot in which the light is changing, sunlight is changing basically, right? So this is the shot. Okay. So we will be covering these shots, how to light them, how to animate the lights, how to render them properly so we can get all the details we want and how to render it in 4K. And guys, I want to tell that it's really faster than V-Ray or Arnold Render Engine, or even if you are using a GPU render like Octane or Redshift, it's much faster than that. It hardly took me like half an hour to render like 200 frames, right? And the shot with the sunset which you which you guys see. So basically it took like 20 minutes to render in 4K, right? So it's really fast and you can get amazing qualities with the help of Movie Render Queue. If you are using motion blur or something like that, right? You can achieve lighting like that also. And one more scene I want to show you, which I am working right now. Basically, this is the scene I am working right now. You may have seen in LinkedIn group some screenshots of it, right? So this is also achieved in Unreal Engine only, right? The lens flare which we are seeing, the glow which we are seeing, the depth of field which we are seeing, it's also achieved in that only, right? It's done in Unreal 5. If the time persists, I will show you just a quick demo that how Unreal 5 is using Lumen to get a realistic global illumination lighting. So we will cover that also. So let's get started. Okay. So first of all, whenever we are doing like Unreal scene lighting and all that, there are 2 methods basically which we can go. Either we can go for ray tracing method or we can go for SSGI method, which is screen place global illumination. Okay, just a second, guys. Just a second. Hello, sorry, just was just a call. Okay, so basically what I was talking, so there is 2 methods basically which you can use to render the scene. One is using the ray tracing and second one is using the SSGI. So what is basically SSGI? So it's faking on screen the global illumination, basically the natural lighting which you see in the results, right, in the exterior renders and in the interior renders, right? Lumen is coming in the Unreal 5, which is also a good option for Unreal for ray tracing, basically, right? But in Unreal 4.26, we can use SSGI if we are not having a good RTX card, basically, right? So how to enable it? So whenever you are starting a new project, just we need to go to Unreal, right? Edit, and we need to go into project settings, basically, right? Whenever you are going in project settings, there are lots of options which you can enable or disable. You can also enable it later on, because if you want ray tracing in your scene, you can enable at the end stage also. You can just enable the ray tracing. It will ask you for restart and it will just compile the shaders again, right? So just search here SSGI. So basically SSGI means screen space global illumination. So whenever you will type SSGI, you just need to tick on this mark and it will enable it in your scene. It will not ask you for restart because it's on the screen, basically, right? So it is not that heavy regarding the ray tracing we use, right? So we will just enable it SSGI. And other things which you can do, which I like to do, right, to get some proper reflections in my scenes, right? I like to increase the quality of the reflections, basically, which you can find in rendering, right? And if you go down, right, I am going to use movie render queue, so I am not worried about the anti-aliasing which I am going to use. Basically, these all are the settings which you can find also in the post-processing scene, right? But you need to enable it here to use in post-processing. So let's say that if you are using a ray tracing in the scene, you first need to enable in your project settings and then you can use it in post-process. Because if you are using it post-process, like tick marking the ray tracing, but it's not going to enable until and unless you do it in the project settings tab, basically, right? So here you can see it's by default on 128, basically reflection captures, right? I just increase it to 2048. Yes, it takes like somewhat of virtual RAM, right, of your video card, but it gives you a result which you can like take the screenshots of and share with others, right? So let me show you the screenshots which I took. Basically, this is a screenshot I just took, and it took me like 1 to 2 seconds to render, basically, to just get the screenshots, right? See, so these are all the screenshots which you can take. Basically, I will show you how to do that also. So these are just the screenshots which I've taken. So you can see all the results which we are getting. All right. See. So basically, these are all the screenshots which I have taken, and it hardly took like 1 to 2 seconds. It also depends on your GPU. I am using a 1660 Ti. Basically, it's not that high end. It supports RTX, but it is not having that RTX cores in it. So yeah, if you are having a decent GPU of 4 GB 1650, right? So you can easily can get this scene going, right? So let's just start the scene now. So I have enabled SSGI from my settings, and I also increased the reflection capture resolution to 2048 if I'm going to use reflection captures in future, right? So let's just close this scene. Now let's look at the scene what we have here. So basically, I like to work in a cinematic viewports because I am not that coding person. I like to use Unreal for the virtual production side, for the cinematic side, for the TV and movie industry side. So I don't use that default viewport. I just use the cinematic viewport. You can just enable here. You can see that default viewport look like this, right? And if I close the sequencer also, right? And you will get like cinematic viewport, something like this. If you close the sequencer, if you're not having any sequence, you will not get this bar, which is like pause, play, move forward to keyframe and all that things. So basically what you can see here, we will relight this scene, right? So you can see I have just prepared a basic scene. Here is your landscape and here is a water material. And here are just some assets which I've used from Megascans. Okay, now whenever you are using Megascan assets, no, whenever you are starting a new project, just make sure that in Megascans options, displacement is on, right? Because whenever you are importing the like assets from Megascan or surfaces, right, you need to enable displacement or else it will not get imported and you need to do it manually. So just we can enable the displacement here and then we can move forward, right? So you can see here in in sand, I have used the displacement and you can see the result. If you are going a macro shot also, and yes, guys, these are all 4K, right? I haven't gone for 8K texture size because I wanted the shot that it would be a cinematic, so it would be having a depth of field and all the things. So I have just gone for 4K textures here, right? And the starfish which you are seeing, it's probably here somewhere, right? Here it is. See, right? So this is the starfish which I am using, and it's of a 2K resolution, right? So if you are having a not that good GPU, you can create a sim with the 2K textures also. You don't need a high-end card to create all these things. So you can see the displacement here, which we can see in the sand also. And these are all the decals I am using. So Megas can also provide you decals basically. If you don't want to burden your sim with so many materials and all the things, grasses and all the things, you can just use the decals here. So let me press G. I am in my game mode now, and you can see these are all the decals up which I'm using to enhance the sim. Basically, you can see, right? But make sure that it doesn't touch any of your objects or surfaces, or else it would be like placing on that also, right? If I want to show you, I can show you here. See, basically you can see here that decals are affecting my surfaces also, but this is not going to be in my camera view, in my scene, so I can live with that, right? And yes, one more thing, guys, whenever you are lighting the scene, whenever
Hi, Viral.
yes, sorry, that was a
Okay.
call, sorry.
Okay,
Okay,
no
okay, okay. So okay, so here you can see that sorry, where was I? Okay, yes. Oh yes, what was I telling, that you need to work in the real world scale. So basically if I put a mannequin here, no, you can see I'm working in a real world scale. Basically I did that mistake in my beer thing. Yes, I didn't like, I wanted to go for a cinematic shot, but I forgot to work in the proper scaling, and which I realized after rendering the shots. So I need to re-render that. But after that, I'm making sure, yes, this you can see that these are the decals effect which we are seeing, right? So you can see that these all are the things which are in real world scale. So you can see here also. And if you want in Megascan also, if you are going in Megascan, no, they are providing you with a screenshot, right? Just go, let me go to bridge, right? So if you are using bridge, they also provide you that what is the reference scale according to your character, right? So just let me close the updates here. Okay, just a second. Right, let me go to my local sets, right? So these all are the assets which I am using in the sim. So basically if I click one asset, no, you can see here what is the size related to your character, your like human character. Basically you can see, so you can easily work with that. So if you are making it big or making it small, you can like check with this reference and you can do that thing. So I have done that thing here. So as you can see, guys, here it is, right? So first thing is you need to do it in the real world scenario, real world scale, which we are doing in Maya also, which we do in 3ds Max also when we are doing architecture rendering in V-Ray. So we need to make sure that we are working in real world scale. Basically, yes, you can make Megascan assets like really large, like up to 60 feet, 100 feet, like more than that, right? But whenever we are like resizing them, we forget that we are going to use that also in, if we want to use in this game, right? That we cannot use that because it would be like huge and the texture size would be like small. So if I want to use this in game also, no, I can use this, right? So you can see that
No,
this is
Viral.
real world scale. Yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
There is one question. Actually,
Right.
when you create this project, so you took as a game or film and live
Yes, I totally
gameplay?
went it for film and cinematic purpose.
Cinematic, yeah? Okay.
Yes, but I also kept in mind that if I want to use this in game purpose, if I
Right.
remove the decals, I go for 2K resolution because basically LODs are, I am having all the LODs. So
Okay.
I can just reduce the quality of the Megascan assets and I can use it as a game asset.
Okay.
So I kept in mind that it should be a real world scale, and lightings also like work really good if you are using a real world scale.
Right. Got it.
Okay, great. Okay, so let me just cancel it. Okay, and one more thing, guys, if you are using Megascan assets, no, you need to convert it into collider if you want that your character should collide with this object. So basically, if I am playing, no, here, you can see here that it's going like over it, right? It's like in the texture, in the surface also. But if you want that your surface should collide with your character, you can do that easily. So just select your mesh. Now here you need to find that where is your mesh located. That is a shortcut key which I'm using frequently. It's Control+B. So basically it browse the location which you have selected or the asset of. So let me select this, and when I press Control+B, it will be located that which asset I have clicked and where it is located. So it's a handy shortcut key rather than going here and searching for the thing. Just use Control+B, just select the object and use Control+B, and it will locate you to the like object directory, right? And let me double click. Now you can see there is no collision here basically, but you can do that easily. Okay, here, right? So in collision, you can convert it into sphere, you can convert it into box, but you can also do auto convex collision. So it will automatically create a geometry around your object. So let me click that. Okay, and let me apply it now. Okay, and this, you can see here that it has created a collision mesh basically, creating a shape like thing. See, right? And we can just save it. And now when I play the game, right? Yes, I want to save the same. And now when I play the game,
sorry to interrupt, but this is very heavy. If you
yes, it's very heavy basically. But what if I want I want to use Niagara particles basically in future, and I want like crabs to go on that surface, right? At that time, I need to convert it to a collision. But for game purpose, you don't need to do that, right? It's just like we can go here from here also. But I am showing because if you want to use Niagara particles, you want the sparks to collide with the objects basically, then you can use that. Otherwise, it's not a mandatory thing. If you are creating just cinematics, you can like live without that.
Where we can live without FPS, right?
Yes. Because if I show you the FPS here, no, it would be like really bad, like 2024, something like that, right? See, like it's not also 24 also. It's like 10, 12 and that thing, but I don't want to use it in games. Again, I am just creating it for cinematic purpose, right? So just let me hide that thing. Again, my graphic card is also not that strong. So that's also the reason I am not getting that good FPS basically. Okay, so let's now just start the scene. So let me like delete all the lights which I'm using. So basically I will press the G mode again and I will be out of the game mode. Okay, so basically like let's delete these lights. So let's hide it. Basically now you can see that your whole scene is dark, pitch dark, right? I will also show you a tip. Basically, I don't know if any of you have used here environment light mixer. Basically, it's a great thing if you want to create a light like in realistic lighting in like 4 seconds. It's just a 4-button click, right? But you need to understand that what each parameter is doing if you want to use it environment light mixer. Basically, I will also give you that tip at the last, that how you can use it quickly to create a scene. Okay, so now we can go into unlit mode basically, right? And we can see that how our scene is looking. Now, what I like to do, that I like to create a sphere with a chrome material and one sphere with a normal material. So I can watch that how my sun is rotating, how my HDRI is captured according to the real time, right? So I can do that. Or else if we are in the film industry, you know that we are also a color calibration thing, right? You can find it in the engine content basically. If you are not seeing your engine content, you just go to view options and click show engine content, and you will see all your engine contents related to it, right? So let me open the engine content, and in that there is color calibrator. So let me search here, right? Color, and you will see here are the color calibrators. Yes, this is the color calibrator which we use, right, in films and all the things. So you can use this also basically if you want, but I am going to just use a simple sphere here. Okay, so we will just drag and drop a sphere here, right? And just I will duplicate it holding the Alt key, right? And yes, it's also providing you materials also, that engine content. So I can type chrome basically, and I will have a perfect chrome ball, which we use in the film sets when we are capturing HDRIs and when we are capturing the light basically, right? And we will just drag and drop it. Currently, you cannot see anything because we haven't added any light, any source of light, like rectangle light or any environment light. We haven't added anything yet. So I will go into unlit mode again. Now, whenever I'm lighting a scene, I want to do a first thing, that is post-process volume. Basically what it is, I will explain you. So let us move to the slide again. Okay. So here it is. We have enabled the SSGI in our project settings. Now we are moving to post-process volume. So post-process volume, I am using it in starting stage also, and I also use it at the end stage also. When I want to color correct my scene overall, I want to control the temperature. So basically, you guys know that we can add a two-directional lights. Basically, if you want a scene like Star Wars, where there are two suns, you can add two-directional light also in Unreal. Yes, you cannot add third directional light, but if you want two suns, you can add two-directional lights. Or if you want to go for a moody scene, like we see in a beach, like one is having a sunset and one is having a blue tint all over the environment, basically blue shadows, not blue shadows, but blue hue, basically all around the scene. You can do with the help of two directional lights, right? That's a bit advanced, but you can achieve that. You can just enable the light for the one directional light and disable the light for the second directional light, but affect it as a color map overall in the scene, like a sky color, right? You can do that also. So basically, to do all this thing, to achieve all the realism, we need to do one thing, because you guys know that the exposure which we use, right? If we go forward, it gets dark. If we go back, it gets light. It's adapting, like our eyes. So I don't want that. I want that exposure should be like maximum brightness should be 1 and minimum also should be 1. So when I'm moving in the camera, when I am moving in the scene, the brightness and should be like fixed. So how we can achieve that? So basically we can achieve that by adding a post-process volume, right? So post-process volume, and I will just drag and drop it here. So why can't I see that? Because I am out of game mode. So I will just press G again, right? So you can see that we are having a cube, which is a post-process volume cube. Now to affect it in all the scene, right? In overall all the scene, whichever way I go, I need to enable infinite bound here. So you can just type infinite bound, extend bound, and you can just enable it. So now what will happen? Either I am outside here or in the square, it will affect all the things same way, right? If I am here also, it will be 1 by 1 brightness. I am in here also, it will be 1 by 1. If whichever way I go, it will be 1 by 1. So next thing I will do, I will go into, and yes, guys, this is the method which I like, right? You can invent your own method. You can invent, like, if you want auto exposure thing, you can go for that also in metering mode. You want auto exposure, you want manual exposure, you can go that also, but I don't use that much, right? Minimum and maximum brightness, I will set it to 1, right? So I don't want it to change again and again. I just want 1 that should be maximum and 1 should be minimum. That's it. Now what we can do, so basically if we go to slide, we have set our exposure for maximum and minimum brightness. We have just post-process enable infinite extent also. I will provide this PowerPoint slide. So if you want, you can study that. I will have also added a links here, which you can study and go more in depth. Like we are going to cover 2 topics here, basically of directional light. First is like how to set it to movable, how the light tab work, and how cascade shadow tab work. But there are more options than this. If you want to study, you can just click on this link and it will take you the page which I am like linking it. Basically, it will take you a directional light page. Also ahead, we are going to use a camera. I have also included external links rather than Unreal, which are really great links if you want to like achieve a Alexa camera in your digital camera way, right? Or you want to achieve a sensor size which we use in cinematic shots. You can like go to that link. You can just decide that I want a 4K shot. I want this sensor size. So you can do that things also. So I will provide that also. So let's move to directional light tab. So again, we are not going to use any baked light mask here, right? CPU or either GPU. We are just going to set it to movable, right? We are not going to do any baking here. So let's just create a directional light here, right? And let's just drag and drop here. So we will go again to lit mode, and you can see that there are really harsh shadows here, which we can see. Okay, and yes, you can see that there are the spheres and they are having like atlases to them. So we will just move it upwards here somewhat, right? So now you can see here, see, there is basically, whenever I go near this now, you will see some things basically. See, there you can see that there is global illumination, there is indirect lighting, which is coming like the lights are bouncing here and they are connecting here. Yes, this is of screen space GI, which we enabled. I can show that also. So if you press the title key, which is above the tab key, you can like control all those things from here. If you want a depth of field quality, you can control it from here. If you want like SSGI quality, you can control it from here. If you want that all your meshes should display the highest level, which is LOD 0, you can do that here also, like forcing all the meshes to show the LOD level 0. You can control all that things in command window. But if you want that things in the render also, you need to add a console variables basically in movie render queue, right? I will show that also if we have the time. So let us just press R dot, okay, here. So R dot SSGI, right? Screen space global illumination, right? You can see there are various options: enable, half res, right? Leak free reprojection, or quality, which quality you want, right? We can go like 1, 2, 3, 4 quality also. It will pre-pass like 16 samples, 32 samples in the highest quality, right? You can do that also, but we don't need this for this scene. So I can type r.ssgi and enable. Just press your arrow keys up and down. It will just select whichever you want. Now it's enabled by default because we have done it in the project settings. But now what we will do, we will do it, keep it to 0 and see here, guys, what will happen. See, you can see that it got dark, right? Yes, you can, if you don't want to use SSGI, there is option called global hemisphere, which we will also see in some time, right? That how we can use that also. But yes, you can use SSGI, which is a really good thing. So again, we can enable it. So SSGI, right? You can just type SSGI, enable, and just press 1. So it will enable it. 0 will disable, 1 will enable it, right? In any like console command you are using, it's either depth of field, is of quality, it is of ray tracing, it is of reflections. You can just enable and disable it here with the help of command window, command console, and it can be accessible by just pressing the title key here, right? So now we can move forward. And guys, if you have any questions regarding any of the things I am telling, you can ask. It's not an issue, right? Okay, so let's move forward. So now let's study the direction. Now what I like to do, I just like to create folders for it. So basically you can see that assets, I am having this much assets, right? I'm using atlases also. So what I learned from Deepak session, which was last Saturday, that you should organize your things. So there is not a mess in your world outliner, right? So what we can do, we can either just drag and drop here, or what we can do, if it's let's see, basically there are having lots of lighting here. So I will just delete this folder for right now. Okay, now whenever you delete the folder, no, the items which are in there, it will not get deleted, right? So you just click it and delete it. So I will just click it and delete it, right? So I will just do Control Z. I will just select it here and just delete it, right? So I will like drag and drop here, or what you can do, right click, move to, and you can move your actors in any folders which you have created. So I will move it into light. Okay, and these are all for the scale references. So I will just create a new folder here and I will call it references basically. Okay, so references, okay, whichever reference I'm using. So we will put it into reference folder, right? So now we can move it forward. So we will go into light tab and we will select the directional light tab. Now, first thing which we will do, we will create a movable light, and you will see that shadows will get much softer, right? See, yes, we haven't added any sunlight or any skylight, which we can add it later on, but we will first set it to movable. Now to see the impact of the skylight and like directional light, I used to call it sunlight because I'm comfortable with that. I don't like directional light, right? I just call it sunlight because in Maya also we can add sun with the help of directional light, right? So I just call it sunlight, my sunlight, right? So now what I want like atmosphere, sky atmosphere, basically a color which we see in the sky, right? Blue color or orange color or any other color, right? So what we will do, again, we will go to place actors and we will add a sky atmosphere. Yeah. And we will just drag and drop it. Now you can see there is nothing happening. Why? Because you need to enable a thing in directional light, which if you scroll down, no, there will be an option called atmosphere sunlight. So whenever you will enable this, it will affect clouds, it will affect your skylight, it will affect your sky atmosphere, right? It will affect all these three things, not any other things, but all these three things, because they work parallel hand in hand. Your skylight, your directional light, your sky atmosphere, and your volumetric clouds. Okay, so I will just enable it. And here you can see that I have received the sky. Okay. And here you can see there is a vignette effect, which is creating these dark patches here, right? Okay. So we have created our sky atmosphere here. Now we can work on this light, directional light, right? So as you can see here in my slide also, in my presentation slide, right? You can see that we have enabled the atmosphere sunlight here, right? So we can see what our sky atmosphere is projecting in the sky, basically, right? Now let's move to skylight tab, basically. Okay, directional light tab, sorry, skylight. Okay.
Hey, Viral.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you. Can I ask one thing?
Yes, sure.
Suppose if we create a sky dome first,
yes,
and then we'll add the directional light.
Yes, you can do that also. Yes,
Okay,
yes, I will show you that in
still we have
custom HDRI.
still we have to connect the atmosphere sunlight,
Yes,
or
yes.
it will happen automatically.
No, then you cannot, you don't need to add a sky atmosphere, basically, if you are using a custom HDRI.
No, I'm not talking about HDRI. I'm saying if we can add a sky dome, just not sky dome, the sky, which you just added, na, the sky
sky atmosphere,
skylight, yeah, sky atmosphere. If you can add it first.
Okay. It would not be having any impact, basically. So if I delete this directional light, no, see,
just for sake of
yes,
delete
if I
that
go,
and yeah, okay.
Yes. And if I go into unlit mode also, no, you cannot see anything. Yes, if you are using expansional height fog, no, it will show you, because this is related to our sun only. So just assume that sun is not there in the atmosphere, right? So what it would be there? It would be a pitch black, because basically the sunrise, sunset, the colors which we are getting from the sky is just because of the sun. Right? So that's the thing.
We have to connect all the time. If we are using directional light plus
sky atmosphere.
But we have to connect that.
Yes, but if we are going further, I will show you how to use this. Where it was environment light mixer. It will do all the things for you. Unreal.
Yeah, this is amazing. Yeah, a few days before I was working on it. This is all the lights combined in a one one frame only.
Yes. But why I am teaching this now? Because we need to know that what each tab is doing, what each function is doing. So after that we can do that, because whenever we teach students, we first teach them that how light is working. Then we will show them the shortcut, that how light mixer is working, or how all the things are working. Basically.
Yes, true. Yeah, very true.
Yeah. So for that only, I'm going like step by step.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So let me just Control Z it. Okay. So now we can see that we are having two lights. Now we will go into this tab of World Outliner, and we will go in the tab which we are seeing here. Basically, you will only see this thing. If you extend it with the help of this triangle, it will show all the properties also. So let's just go upward. First thing we have done it to movable. Now there is intensity. So basically, sunlight, if we have used Arnold also, no, we know that directional light only have the value of 1, which we don't tweak. If we are using V-ray sun also, we tweak it in the camera settings. So I don't tweak it here. If I want, I can go it forward also. I go backward also. But 10 is a decent amount to get started. If you want a like afternoon result also, if you want a sunrise or sunset, 10 is a decent amount, right? We will go in further also. I will add the most of the things, which is like skylight also, and that volumetric clouds, which will work hand to hand. But you don't need to tweak this. Generally, I don't tweak it. I just remain it at 10. Right. And the other thing that why it is looking better now, it's looking like proper thing, because we have enabled a maximum brightness here. So let me just reset it here. So see, this will be the thing. If you are doing it without this maximum and minimum brightness, basically, see, this will be a dark scene and all this thing. You can read it in here also. If you go to this link, directional, or if you go to this post-process thing, this screen global illumination, it will say that if you want to achieve the perfect result in post-process for minimum brightness and maximum brightness, you should set it to a value which is real world, right? 1, 1. And you don't need to tweak then the sunlight or your directional light. Basically, I called it sunlight, but basically it is called directional light. You don't need to tweak that settings in that. So you can find it in the link. I have just attached the settings here. I have just attached the links. Yes.
Yeah, what I feel, it comes to my mind. So is it
Okay.
work like a clamp value? Means if we set it is like a 1, so it will
Okay.
provide only not more than 1. Means it will control that below 1.
Yes.
It's like
Also,
clamping, right?
yes. Basically, if you open the doc file of the post-processing volume in
Yeah,
minimum and maximum brightness, it says that either keep it either keep maximum value greater than your minimum value, or keep it at neutral if you want
Okay.
a balanced result. It will say that in the doc thing. So I would just keep a maximum also at 1 and minimum also at 1. So when
Okay,
I'm
got it.
going to do a sunset, the
So
values don't change.
always start with 1.
Yes,
You would be.
that I prefer.
Okay, you prefer.
Basically, yes,
Okay.
basically I prefer. That's not written in any document thing, but that I prefer.
And
Basically,
one more
yes,
question related to skylight.
yes.
See, actually, there are two. One is the atmospheric sky, which you have used right now, and one is
Yes.
a BP.
Yes, BP
built-in
sky. Yes,
So,
yes.
so if you compare with both the skylight, which is
Right.
expensive? This is
Expensive. This is expensive, which I am using.
Okay, this is expensive. Okay.
Yes, this is expensive because what the thing is that if you are using the BP sky, you cannot control that with the help of your directional light, your volumetric cloud, or your skylight.
Okay.
Okay, so if I want a sunset scene, just what I can do if I are using these four lights, they all are interconnected with each other, right? So I will just press Control L and I can go from like sunrise to sunset within like 2 seconds.
Okay.
I cannot do that with the BP sky sphere because BP sky sphere basically is a sphere only, which is emitting a light.
Okay.
Okay, which we do with the help of HDRI lighting. You can say that kind of that thing.
Okay, but what I feel in BP we can means there is an option directional light you can enable means
yes you can enable that. Yes, you can enable that. So you can use that method.
If you rotate direction light accordingly, sun will get control.
Yes. But then again, we need to do that in volumetric cloud also.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
So that's the thing we are doing here.
So means we can, if we require, we can use BP sky
yes.
instead of this. Means it is up to the user.
Yes. So further, when we are going to use that custom HDRI, so you can say that that's also sphere, which is emitting light from the HDRI. Right.
Okay.
I'm not going to use this sky atmosphere. But the thing is that then I cannot control like directional light and my custom HDRI without blueprint. Basically, I asked that question yesterday.
Blueprint sky, every time we have to recalculate. Means you have to click that option. Every time if you change the rotation of the direction light, every time you have to enable that. That is one pain point. What?
Yes. And if I'm going to use a custom HDR, and I'm using a directional light. So directional light is our sun, basically. So I need to connect that sun to my HDRI sun, basically, to achieve that realistic effect of the shadows and lights, right? And if I rotate the HDRI, in further, then I again need to move my directional light.
Yes.
Yes. So if I don't want that, I need to write the blueprint. Yes.
It is very easy to work.
Yes. And I don't like blueprints, basically.
Okay, got it.
Okay, great. Okay, so now we can move forward also. So here we will go in the settings, basically our directional light setting. I used to call it sunlight. Okay. So first is the intensity. Second is light color. Now I don't usually use light color because with the help of the sun, we can use temperature here, basically. It's either warm or it's cold. Basically what we used to do in 3D applications also. So if I go like 3000, it will be warmer. And if I go above 6000, it would be like cool, right? So 6500. So it will be a cool atmosphere. So if I want to change the color of the sun, I just use the temperature because it's like what you can say that it's logical to do that, right? It's the right way kind of to do that thing. Because if we go to, if we are creating a sci-fi world, which is having a sun, which color is green, yes, we can use this light color if we want, right? But if you are emitting a real world, if you are creating a real world scene, basically, with the real world reference, then use temperature wherever possible. So I'm not going to use this at this moment. So I will just disable this, use temperature. Okay, now what you want, that you want to cast shadows, you want shadows, this, which we are getting, right? So let me just rotate this thing. Just zoom out. Okay, So you can see that there are shadows casting here. So if you don't want that shadows, you can go that also. Okay, just give me a second. I will just select this and press F. Okay, this object, right? Okay, so I can rotate easily. So why I'm going here, why I've created the graphs, because I want to show you some things in the sun tab, basically my directional light tab. Okay, so I will again go to my directional light. Okay, now you can see that you can just turn on and off these shadows also, right? If you want shadows for your scene or if you don't want. Okay, now indirect lighting is not going to work here. Okay, because we are not using ray tracing GI basically, because if I increase it also, no, there would not be any effect in the scene, right? 10, or if I go to 10,000 also, it would be not be affecting my scene because I'm not using ray tracing GI basically. So these two settings would not have any effect here, right? But now if we go into show advanced tab, no, now here you can control your shadow things, right? You can control your shadow amount, how much shadow you want in your scene, what shadow color you want. You can control all the things here, how much shadow bias you want. So if I go 0 here, no, see, you can see my shadows are starting just beneath my soft faces, basically, see here. And if I go to like 0.5, see, you can see, right? This all the things I leave it to default. I don't touch them. Basically, these all are the things which are perfectly fine. The thing which I like, no, if you, again, we are not using any light mask, we are not using any light maps, so we are not going to enable this light mask here. Okay, if you go here, no, you will find a cascade shadow maps. What is cascade shadow map? Basically, if I zoom out, no, you can see that many shadows are casting here. But if I decrease this thing, you will see that, see, my shadows are going. So basically, I want that only till here. I want my shadows to be casted, not further than that, right? So you can do that with the help of dynamic shadow distance. So how much distance you want in your shadows, it's controlled by here. Generally, I keep it at 10,000 because I don't want that the far objects which are here, I don't want any shadows from them, because but obviously my camera is not going to see that shadows. So I go like 10,000 value is fine with me, right? But if you're not going in real world scale again, then you need to tweak this dynamic shadow distance and all these things. Now the really cool option is here, number of dynamic shadow cascade. So here you can see, basically, see, this is having a soft result, right? This is, if I just rotate it, no, here you are seeing that this is giving a soft shadow. Now I can control this also. So if I go it to 1, which is default value, right? See, it's getting blur, totally blur. Right? So you can see here that it's getting totally blur. Now, again, this value, if you increase this value, it will increase your like frame range, FPS basically, right? It will lower it down. But if you want, like, if you are creating a game, you can play with this settings. Basically, number of dynamic shadow cascade. This you can see that it's totally blur. Now let me increase it to 2. Now you can see it's getting better. All right, let me go to 3. Now you can see like it's getting really better. We can see some softness also. We can see like the shape of the shadow also. Now if I go 4, no, it will be complete like reflection of it, reflection of your object's shadow also, right? It's if we are using Photoshop, basically we use the soft brush and we use hard brush. It's that thing here also. So yes, you can go about that also, but it would be not be having any effect in that. Like if you go 100 also, it would be having the same effect. It would go not beyond that 10, but at 10 and at 4, quality is same. There is no difference in that thing. Just a second, guys. So let us continue. So what soft shadows and hard shadows? Now, if you are creating interior scenes, you want the shadows to be sharp, right? You can control it with this thing, right? There is also a transition, which you can use transition period also, right? You can use many things here. So if you are using distance fill shadows, you can use this also, but I don't recommend this. These all are ray tracing options, which if you change, there is not going to be any change in the scene because we are not using ray tracing. Again, you need to enable ray tracing to see this effect, right? And that's all the thing which I use. We will use this also, cast shadows on cloud, cast shadows on atmosphere, cloud shadows we will use when we will add volumetric clouds. So this is the sun tab, basically directional light tab, which I tweak here, and that's it. Now we can move to another thing, which is our sky atmosphere, basically, right? And after adding the sky atmosphere, you don't need to change anything in this tab. It's all good by default only, but if you want, you can change the color, right? This is the really cool option, MIE. Basically what MIE is, atmosphere MIE, it adds a, like if you are going to Delhi, you will see that there is much air pollution in the atmosphere. There are pollens, particles and all that things, right? Which get around the light source or around your sun, and you get a like really polluted atmosphere. So you can do that with help of this thing, MIE scattering. So let me find my sun here. Basically, let me like make it big so you guys can see, right? So just give me a second. So where are my lights? Here. Okay, directional light. Yes, with the help of source angle, you can create a big sun, right? So as you can see, now I have just made it to 2. So let me go to my sky atmosphere and let me move it to lights, right? And here, if I increase this, no, see, you can see that particles and like pollution air, they are covering this thing. See, and if I go here also, no, you can see that effect. See, which we see in most metro cities. This kind of effect we don't see in like hill stations or any other places, but we see in the like metro cities. So you can like do it with the help of this. See, this is totally polluted. Now, as you can see here, see, I cannot see my sun, right? Yes, I can see that there is the object, but I cannot see its original size. So whenever you are creating a sunset, no, just make sure that it's leave either to default or to 0. See, right? So that's the MIE scattering. So if you are just imagine if you are creating Mars. So basically, if you check the Mars reference images of NASA, you can see that there is much pollution in the air. There are like fog and haze and all that things, which we cannot get with the help of volumetric fog, right? So we use that exponential height fog. We are not getting that result. So what I used to do, I am just using MIE scattering scale, which will help me overall, right? See here. Okay, so that's the MIE scattering for you. Okay, so let's just get back to the scene. Now, as you can see, the scene is really dark and the shadows are also dark. So now what we need to add the skylight here to make the shadows soft, to emit the light on the character or on the scene. So what we will add the skylight, right? So just drag and drop again, and you can see your shadows got much smoother. You can see that lights are just hitting and you are getting a really good indirect illumination, right? See here, direct illumination and indirect lighting. See, so let me disable it again and let me just add it again. See, you can see now, and this is your SSGI. Whenever I will go like into this, no, it will get like, it will go away. See, but whenever I just go further, it will just be enabled. See here, right? So that's SSGI basically. So you are getting a really good indirect lighting on the character also. You can see it here, right? So let's just move forward now. So let's just animate this, open this slide now. So yes, we have covered that how the atmospheric sunlight works. We have enabled that also, right? Now we have added the spheres also, right? We have applied the chrome material from the engine content to it, right? I showed you how to enable and disable SSGI. Basically SS not, it is not SSR, it is SSGI. It's a typo, right? Typo mistake. So how you can enable and disable it with the help of console command. Again, I will just repeat it. You can press the title key here and you can just do your settings, right? Whichever you want. So we have added the skylight here. Now I told you just a moment back that we are going to experience how lower hemisphere work. So just think that I'm not using SSGI in my scene. I'm not using ray tracing, but I want this global illumination thing. I want like indirect lighting to hit my objects. You can do that also. So let me just disable my SSGI. So SSGI enable and 0, right? So it's got disabled. Now here, see at the chrome wall here, you can see there is a light dark color of black here. It's your global illumination. Let me show you. So just let me check the skylight and let's go downwards. Yes, one more thing, movable and real time. right? So real-time capture will be on, because whenever I want to animate my sun, I want that my skylights also get animated with that thing. So I'm not using this HLS captured scene, right? I am not using any cube map. I'm not using any HDRI. So I don't need to click on the recapture again and again, right? So just let's go upward. Okay. Again, this is not going to work in direct lighting intensity volumetric because we are not using that ray tracing feature. Yes, you can increase this light intensity scale. You will get more blue, basically, right? More blue color. So 0, you will not get anything. 1 is the default value, which I leave. Now here is the cool thing, lower hemisphere color. Now what is this thing? So just watch here. If I change the color to, let's say, green, see what you are seeing, that it's faking global illumination basically. So you are not using SSGI, you are not using RTX or ray tracing. You can fake it with the help of ground hemisphere, basically lower hemisphere, right? So you can just pick the color you want. So I want this sand color here. So I can just click the picker and I can get that thing. See, right? Yes, the drawback is that whenever you are changing your light and your scene, you need to like recalculate it again. Basically, you need to change the color again according to your atmosphere, according to the scene you want, right? But this is the good thing. If you are not having SSGI, if you are not using SSGI in your scene, if you are not using ray tracing in your scene, you can cheat it with this, right? So if I see here, no, see, basically you will see that you will see here also this effect. So let me change to like blue and press OK, right? So you can see that we are emitting now blue. Okay, so let me go back to my skylight, right? So see here, right? We are getting a blue color. Now we are getting, see here also, you can see. Let me press G here, right? And let's see. You can see here also that what we are getting exactly. So I can just use the picker here. Okay, and I can use the two things connected with each other. I can also use this lower hemisphere and I can also use SSGI, which will give me a good result, right? So you can do that, or if you don't want, you cannot, right? So just let me do this color and that's it. Okay, now let me enable SSGI. So SSGI enable and 1, right? Now it's enabled here. Okay, if you don't want to use it, you can just disable it. Basically, I disable it if I am using SSGI. So let's just go to our skylight and disable it, right? And that's it. Okay, you can see the impact here. See, right? So that's the only thing which I use in the skylight feature. Okay, that thing and your this thing where it went, right? Your intensity scale, right? This is the new thing, which is sky distance threshold. I will show you that whenever I am using, I will show you the scene which I am using as a HDRI. I will show you what this is doing. See, basically, I can show you here also. I am doing it one. I am just recapturing it again. I'm not using any lower hemisphere here. Okay, and I just click on recapture. Basically, you can see here that it's getting to 0, basically. Okay, just let me affect the bubble here. See, you can see that it's gone, right? That black thing. We can use it with when we are using HDRI. We can create a sphere here. Basically, whenever you click the recapture, it just capture your scene, basically your atmosphere, and create a HDRI, 360 HDRI. Whenever you click on this recapture thing, right? You can attach a material also here if you want, cube map also if you want. Okay, but I'm not going to use this. I'm just going to use the real-time capture. Okay, now next thing, what we want. So we have added our volumetric, like not volumetric, we have added our skylight, we have added our directional light, we have added our sky atmosphere. Now next thing what I want is clouds. Basically, if you don't want cloud, you can now just press Ctrl+L and play with your lighting. See, it's reacting completely good. See, so whenever I'm doing a sunset, see, you can see here, I'm getting a really nice result. So let me move on to my camera here. So you can see here what type of result I'm getting basically. Okay, so let me just focus my object to here, right? So let's press Ctrl+L. See, as you can see here, see, you are getting really good results here, right? If I want a sunset, I can go that also. So basically how this is working, basically Control L, if you move from right to left, it will rotate 360. If you go up and down, if you take your cursor up and down, right, your mouse up and down, it will go from sunrise to sunset and again to sunrise, right? See, so whichever effect I want, I can achieve it. So basically I can go here, see, this type of effect, I can also achieve that, right? And why it's working really nice, because we have interconnected all the three things. Now, if I add a volumetric clouds also, it will also work all these three things, your skylight, your directional light, and your sky atmosphere. So let's add that thing. Just let me press Control Z. Okay, here, and let me just go for a bright like this thing, right? And yes, again, one more thing. If you want to know that your like screen should preview your high quality results, you can enable all your LODs also. So you can type r.force LODs. Okay, and just press 0. It will convert all your LODs on the screen to like maximum quality. If you want 1, you can go minimum quality also. And mind you guys, this is for screen purpose only. It's not going to render. If you are going for 0 here, it's not going to render unless and until you add it into your console variable in movie render queue. It's not going to work. Okay, so let me press escape here. And one more thing you can do to capture high resolution screenshots, basically take the screen percentage to 200, and you can easily see how much quality difference is here, right? So let's grab a screenshot of it. So high resolution screenshot. Now again, this is the really nice thing, screen size multiplier. Basically, if you take it to 2, it will like multiply your resolution. Okay, if it's like 1080, it will take it to 2K. If it's 2K, it will take it to 4K. But it all depends on your resources and your virtual RAM, basically your graphic card RAM. Okay, so just we are going from 1 only, and we can open this thing. See, here it is. So as you can see, we are getting a nice result here. Okay, we are seeing the depth of field also, basically, because we have added a camera. How we can do that, I will show you in just a moment. Okay, so let's move forward now. Okay, again, just keep it to 100 or else your screen will lag. Okay, and again, we can go to perspective view, sign camera. Okay, this is the bug I'm facing. Okay, that's it. Okay, so now we have like done our skylight, directional light, and sky atmosphere. Now we will add volumetric clouds. So just type clouds here and just drag and drop it here. And you can see that your clouds are here. Yes, this is not looking that great because it's again, we are seeing this screen thing, right? If you take it to 200, it will look good again, right? But we are not taking it to 200 right now. Now, if we are using clouds, what we can do, we can also enable cast shadows on clouds also of your directional light, basically. So how we can do that? We can just select this skylight, okay, our basically sunlight, right? If we go down again, you will find the option here which says cast cloud shadows, and if we enable it, see, you can see that shadows are like really in use here. But what it is giving me, it's giving me a dark result, right? So what I can do now, I can just take this down, cloud shadow strength. See, you can play it how much you want. Basically, I keep it around 0.1 or 0.05, right? Not more than that, not less than that. Okay, if you don't want to use this feature, it's totally fine, right? It's going to give you a good result. But why to use this feature, I will show you in a second. So let's just go back to our slides. Basically, we have added a skylight, right? We have understand how lower hemisphere work and when to use it. We have added our volumetric clouds, basically. Now we will see how we can control this cloud, basically, right? So if we see here, if you go up, you can see that our clouds are touching our water surface. I want the clouds above the water surface. So you can do that easily. So let me just add both this thing to our new folder thing. Okay, so let me click the volumetric cloud here. And here you can see layer bottom altitude. See, it's going down. Now if I go upward, see, you can see here, right? And if I see from my camera, yes, you can see this black line, but we can easily remove that with the help of like exponential height fog, right? So we can keep it around something like this, right? So we can keep it around this thing. And again, we can go to our camera view, right? And it's looking really good. Now what I can do now, just give me a second. I will go to my sequencer. I will select my camera and I will just click on this focus distance, right? So I can see, right? If I want, I can click on this thing also. So now you can see what result I am getting. Basically, I can click on this also, and the focus distance will be on my mannequin, basically. So now I can control it from here, how I want my volumetric clouds to be. See, as you can see here, right? See. So this is the layer height. So at what height? See here in the, if I go in the cinematic viewport now and just go to this sphere, right? You can see here what it is doing. Basically layer height. See, it's basically the height of the clouds. See how puffy you want the cloud to be. It's controlled from the layer height, basically. See. So that's why I added this sphere, so I can watch what's happening in my scene. Okay, so let's go down now. Now you can tweak the material also. You can tweak how you want your clouds also. So if I want some small clouds and some big clouds, I can tweak that in the material tab. Basically, if you click on the material tab, no, double click, you will see there are lots of options here. Now I'm not having the second monitor, so I am just taking it on the left side. So here is your, it would be off by default, right? It would be off by default, all these things, right? Only this thing would be enabled. It would be also be disabled. See, it would look like this. Basically what wind is doing, it's giving your cloud the motion. So 1000 is way too much. I will just revert it back to 0, right? Okay, and you can see my clouds are moving slowly. Okay, you can take it to 1 also. So basically RGB means what? So basically if you see here, no, in your scene here, right? Z means blue, X means red, Y means like yellow, sorry, green. So if I want that my shadow, my cloud should go from left to right, I can like just increase this thing to 2, okay, to 10, 20, 30, you can experiment with it. But what I want to show now, here you can like want how you can sculpt your clouds, basically. See how you want your clouds. So basically you can create it from here. See, small clouds, big clouds, how you want your clouds to be. Noise scale of the clouds. Basically, I am also learning from this thing. I'm not an expert in this volumetric cloud thing, but yes, I can control it from here. That all I know, right? How you want to blend the clouds. And if you are like pretty good in material, you can just double click it and study what they have done. Okay, I don't touch this thing. Okay, I will just close it. I will just close this also. Okay, and I am just happy with my thing. Now what I want. So I have established my clouds. I have established my skylight, directional light, right? And my sky atmosphere. Now the last thing which I want is like fog in my scene. So I want that the distance object which I see here, no, I want them to be faded like in blue color, or if it's sunset in black color. So how we can do that? So we can go to our place actors. There is exponential height fog. Okay, you can use traditional fog also, but I prefer this one. Okay, it is not going to give you the result you want in the first try, but after yesterday's session, I was like kind of wanted this to work. So I found a solution basically by doing R&D, that if you use the cast shadows on cloud, no, option in directional light, it gives a really good result, right? So let me just first tweak these settings. So basically fog density, how dense you want your fog to be, right? As you can see here, the starting point which I like, no, these are the values which I start with. So 0.005. Okay, so that's the distance which I want, and I will just play with this. Like, see here, you can see the result, right? This is, I'm getting a good result, guys. But if I go to my directional light, if I go down, all right, and if I on this option, no, see, you will get really good results here. I am using this cast shadows and 1, right? Okay, see, there is the change here. Slight change is there, but you are getting a realistic result with the help of this thing. See, again, see, this is the cloud shadow strength and this thing. See, okay, it's looking like fog is affecting the scene, your clouds are affecting the scene. So you can tweak these settings if you want. Generally, I am not using this exponential height fog that much because it's not giving me the result I want. Another thing you can do, this indirectional scattering, you can get it to like really dark, right? This will improve your scene a little bit, not that much, right? So you can see this is the default value. You can see there is green color in the fog. I don't want that. I want it pure black. See, and the other thing I tweak is the fog in scattering color. So watch here carefully, guys. So let me go to my, so this is the bug I am facing right now in Unreal. I'm not getting this thing which I want, right? Just click that and you are out of your camera mode. So I need to do this thing again and again, right? So here you can see your fog. Basically, this is your fog, right? Exponential height fog. So now watch carefully. See, here I'm increasing. See, you can see how your fog is working in the scene. See, so basically what I want, that I keep this color according to my sky color, basically. So what I can do, I can just click here and I can pick my sky color from here. See, so this will look good actually, right? So I will just click OK here. Okay, okay, where is my exponential height fog here? And now I can increase it. See, so if I go into my camera view now, see, you can see here now I can light it out. So just I need to like eyeball it of what I want, basically. Okay, you can revert it back to the blue color it's having. It's totally fine with this color also. There's nothing much in this settings. Just you need to play with the fog density and fog height fog, and that's it. Okay, and just make sure that you get your directional in scattering color to black. But there is a drawback to this situation. Now, if I press Ctrl L and move my light, no, see, I'm not getting that good result. See, as you can see here, I want my sun also to be visible. So what I need to do, if I disable this, no, see, you are getting a really good result. But if I enable this exponential height fog, your result is getting like worse, right? So it's up to you. If you want a sunset, I don't use it that much in exponential height fog. But yes, if I'm doing a day scene or afternoon scene, I'm using this thing. But if you are not using exponential height fog in sunset, it's totally cool with it. You're totally cool. So what I can do, if I want this, no, I can just reduce it, right, to point like this. Okay, or I don't use it. I just don't use it because I'm getting a really good result without this. Now, as you can see, our sun is big, our directional light is big. You can just tweak now. Now you can do the lighting you want. So basically, if I get out this mode, no, you can see the realistic result we are getting. See here, right? And if I press Ctrl L and do this thing, no, see, you can see my sun moving through the clouds. You are getting shadows here. See, basically, okay. If I go down, see, you are getting this pink sky, pink and yellow sky, basically. See, so I can live with this. Okay, and this is looking really good. Now what I can do, I can tweak this, like use temperature here. Okay, and we will do this like 4000. Okay, so this is looking nice. See, lighting is again your perspective, what you want to show to the audience, right? It totally depend on you, right? We can make it bigger also, sun, right? Now we can move sun also, right? If I want to sunset, I can go it to 0. If I want a sunrise scene, I can go it to -2, and you will see that you will be getting a sunrise scene, basically, right? And if I go into 0, it's basically a sunset. Okay, so you can do that thing from here. So let me press G, and now you can see the result which we are getting now. So you are getting a really nice result with the help of sunlight. You are getting a really good result. Your sunset is there, but there are still some things which we need to do in post process to get it to a next level, basically, right? So let's just go to the PowerPoint slide again. You can see here we have done your exponential height fog. We have understand that how it is working. Now we are moving to a sequencer. Now we want our cinematic shot. We want that our shot should be rendered. We don't want screenshots, basically. If you want, you can take this screenshot also. So let me just hide my references, right? We can do this thing. Again, we can increase our screen percentage to 200. We can just grab this screenshot, right? one more thing I would like to do before taking a screenshot. In post-process value, you can use a bloom here. This is the standard method and this is a convolution method. See, this is the thing which we use in movies basically, right? In animated movies. Yes, it's used in cinematics also because it's too expensive for games. Again, FPS matters. But we are like doing a scene which is depending on cinematics, so we can use convolution. But I don't like that. I just use the standard one, right? So let's just go back to the sequencer. Now we want to add our camera basically. So before moving to camera, if you guys have any question regarding to lighting, you can ask. So after that, we can move to sequence and sequencer camera. Yes, I see basically lot more.
it's a private message, Viral.
Okay. I didn't got that. Yes.
Yeah. Actually, without height fog, I can sense that we are losing the horizon.
Yes.
And
we are
that is the
horizon,
problem.
yes.
That is the problem if we use that. If we don't use that exponential height fog.
Yes.
So, do we have any other other than height fog? So we can use best of both sides.
Nope. I asked that question yesterday only to the Rishi that is there any option, but he told no, there is not. There is not any option.
I asked the question. I asked the question in last because I had no.
No, I asked around 245 basically 245 250 before the session. Yes. Before the session, I asked that question. Okay. So there is not any solution right now. And they told that they will improve it in Unreal 5, which I heard from Rishi yesterday, but it's still the same in Unreal 5 also.
Okay. Nice.
Okay. Any other question?
Viral, I think means rightly said by Rahul, but can we can cheat something like we can put some object or any plane?
Yes, we can use cards basically.
So cheating means at this moment we have to cheat.
Yes, we have to cheat.
We can cheat when it is a still. We don't use the day and night effect in side by side. We can cheat on that, but we can't cheat when a day and night is going. We are changing from day to night.
Day to night, yes, basically. Yes, if you want a time lapse, we cannot cheat that way.
We can't cheat.
Yes. Okay. Any other question? Actually, I was nervous before taking the session, but now I'm like you can say I'm comfortable.
It is going very good, यार. मतलब very nice.
क्योंकि मेरी इंग्लिश जनरली इतनी अच्छी नहीं है, लेकिन मैं ट्राई कर रहा हूँ कि मैं इंग्लिश में पूरा सेशन दूँ.
Whatever you have done ना, your experience tell means सब पता चल रहा है कि बहुत मेहनत से आपने ये किया है. And small things you are explaining rightly, so it is very good.
Okay. Thank you.
Just one thing, skylight में that distance you kept one right now, na?
Right.
It was like more than 16,000.
Yes, more than 15,000. Right. It was on 15,000.
So what happened if we keep that by default? Then he will not give the nearest object reflection. That is
yes. Right. Totally right. I will show you that in my the scene which I'm using HDRI. So you can clearly see that what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So 1 or 2, it is a right.
Yes. Go to value. Yes. Go to value.
Yeah.
Yes. Totally. So this is all research and development I am doing from last 3 weeks in lighting. Basically, these values I found useful.
Because actually it shows because small things you are explaining, that is good actually.
Yes. Because basically, परसों ये हुआ. I asked Rishi that is there any option regarding this that we can use exponential height fog also, and we want the result which we want. So I found that using the cast shadows on clouds, basically, I accidentally clicked that option, and I found that the result is really good.
Okay, good.
Okay.
ठीक.
Okay. Basically, I was also recording the session, so I can submit it to Abir sir for that UI thing, but it went out of memory.
हार्ड डिस्क में धोखा दे दिया.
हाँ, हार्ड डिस्क में धोखा दे दिया बेसिकली. और अच्छा लैपटॉप कर रहा है वो, इतना हैंडल, वो अच्छी बात है.
It is recording, ना? This session is recording.
Yes.
I'm recording. I'm recording.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay. Now we can move forward. Sir, how much time I have?
Yeah, you have like another an hour for sure.
Okay, great. So I can show much.
So, you can take entire time. Yeah, it is
entire
going
time.
good.
And sorry to interrupt you, your English is as good as my English and the other faculty members. Obviously, we don't expect an American talking to us.
No,
no doubt, you are perfect.
Okay, thank you.
There is no such thing like accent in India.
Everything na,
yes.
That is very good.
Okay. Basically, I was thinking from message Amar, so basically I want to take this session in Hindi, but he told us you can take it in Hindi because basically I'm a Gujarati. So yes. I was studied in English medium, but here public are like Gujarati and Hindi both. They don't understand English that much. So my English is going really bad these days.
Yeah, even throughout India, most of the classes we take in English, Hindi and English, and a bit of Telugu. And to teach something in Hindi or Telugu, it might be very tough. We can't find words. It is easy to teach Maya, Max, or any new software in English for us, but we can't teach in our own mother tongue. It will be very difficult. Yes,
difficult. Yes.
Yeah. So no problem. You are perfectly good.
Okay. Another thing, I don't have like webcam in my this Asus laptop. Basically, they haven't provided me the webcam, so I am also not having that webcam, so I can show you my face.
Yeah, and we do suggest to submit the videos when you are submitting for UAI on the Epic website, preferably English. So you can do it in your local language also. But you are good at English, you can definitely do
yes, I can take now in English. I am comfortable now, basically, after taking this session this long.
Yeah, but just to add that the session what you are conducting is perfect, but when you submit the video to Epic, it has a different criteria, different requirements. So we need students to participate. Now we are all elders, like the participants whom they are able to understand. But in that video, the students will interact and they will share their screen. We will brief this to everyone.
Sure.
We don't
basically,
want
sir,
to...
I'm taking Unreal sessions of my another branch, which is Sayajiganj, basically.
Yes.
So I'm taking Unreal. Basically, the material session which you saw, no, they were of students only. So basically, what I will do, I will take one session in English of that half an hour with the presentation thing, and I can submit that. So we can do that thing also with the students.
Now we are talking about submitting videos on our LinkedIn group or like some drive. But what I'm saying is when we will like explain to everyone how to submit videos to the Epic Games once you clear them.
Sure, sir.
You are perfect for that. Everyone is perfect. The guys who are presenting videos, only in that video they need some real students, live students.
Real students, right?
Yeah, and you have to submit a lesson plan along when you upload your video. We will just guide the requirements. You people are obviously you are good at teaching. All the faculties at AppTech. I'm not boasting. I know you. Honestly, I'm saying. Only the thing is you must know how to package the thing, and if you are able to guide properly, you will become a good UIs. That's it. Okay. Continue the session. Sorry for the interruption.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay. So now we can move to sequencer.
Hello.
Yes.
Hey,
hello.
hi. I have one question actually. It's a little different. So I have one curiosity related to learning the water simulation. So I just want to learn how to do the water simulation thing. So if possible, so just briefly just be explain.
Yes, sure. So now Shadi sir told basically I have whole 3 hours. So basically I will also take that water session, that how quickly you can create that water thing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Water, you use that plugin, I think.
Yes, Unreal Water plugin. Yes.
And for rest of the island, you took this landscape, na?
Yes. Basically, I took this landscape. I created the landscape which we provide in models in landscape, and then I just created a water on that landscape.
Right. So understood. Okay.
Okay. If we get the time, I will show you that also. It's a really quick setup. Within 5 minutes, you can get this thing. Okay, great. Okay, so now we can move to sequencer basically. So you all guys are familiar with sequencer. There is just little things which we can do in the sequencer. We can animate light, we can animate the scene. The starfish shot which you saw, that I have animated a light a little bit so that there is a light on the starfish, and when we go zoom out, the light goes away, fade away basically. So we can do that with the help of sequencer. Now, basically, before going to sequencer, I would like to show a link here. This is a really good link basically. Okay, just let me open it. See, again, I'm not that good at learning camera, or what is analog camera, what is digital camera, what is sensor height, what is aperture. I'm not that good, but I know big things. So I followed this guy. He's really good. Alec Tucker, basically he's environment artist at Epic Games, right? He has put a blog basically of how to do cinematic post-processing tips and tricks in Unreal 4. I will provide this like presentation. Sir, sorry sir, can I share this PPT in the chat?
Yes, sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so you guys can download this. It's basically a 9.59 MB. It's having all the links which I have mentioned. If you want to go in detail, you can just click on that link and just go there. So let's us go back to this sequencer now. Okay, so as you can see, he's having a brief overview. What is sensor size? What is aspect ratios? And there is a really nice guide of sensor sizes and film format. Basically, this is the second link which I am showing you. Okay, just here. See, basically this is the second link. Learn help guide to sensor sizes and lens format, right? So this is the link which I'm talking about. So you have you seen Blade Runner and all these things? Ex Mechanica, they were using a really wide sensor size basically. Okay, it's like 14, 14.9 or 15.2, basically around that thing, right? It's give you a really good thing. And if you are using an anamorphic lens, you can achieve that also in the Unreal Digital lens or thing. You can achieve that, but for that we need a plugin also, which gives our anamorphic effect, and we can then squeeze it back in any of the post-processing software, basically, right? That's another topic again. So what I do, I'm not that much of a camera guy. So what I do, I just set the resolution which I want. So for example, if I want a Canon 70 Mark II resolution, right, for 5K, so I take this and I just divide it, right? How we can do that? So I will just show you. Okay, rather than just explaining, let me show you. So let us create a camera here. Okay, so what I will do, I will create a new cinematic. Okay, add a level sequence. So session, let's just name it session. Okay, so this is the thing. And another thing, let me just go it to 100. So that's not that big, right? So it's like light on my resources here. Okay, so let's create a camera here. Okay, so just click on this camera and it will create a camera cut and camera both. So now when you can see here, there are much more properties here. So basically what I like to do, I just set it to digital DSLR. Okay, so DSLR result, which we all use when clicking the photos, basically 16:9 ratio, right? If you want IMAX, you can get that ratio also, and more you can study here, right? That what ratio you want to 2:39:1, 1.85:1, 16:9, right? Or 4:3. Basically, we generally keep it 16:9 because we use that a lot in our movies, in our games, and all these things, right? So just we keep it to 16:9 DSLR. Now there is sensor width and sensor height. So what I can do, I can use this sheet here, sensor sizes and film format. Basically, I can use this thing. So let's say that I want this aspect ratio. So this is what this is, 2.35:1. So let's check it out here where it is. So 2.35:1 is the default ratio, right? And I want that anamorphic filling, that cinematic filling. So what I can do, I can use this. A few films that use 2.35:1 ratio. So what I can do, what is my sensor width? Basically 36. So what I simply do, I just open a calculator. I just go here in this link they have provided, and I just I just take the sensor size and just divide it. So here, if we take 2.35, right? So what we can do, so what is our sensor width? 36. So let's just 36 divide by 2.39. So this is what we get, 15.062. Okay, so let's just do this thing here, and it will give a cinematic view, 15.062. Just watch here, it will go like horizontal bars. But yes, horizontal bars. See, so this is the result you are getting. Another thing, when you are using a cinematic shots, when you are creating a cinematic shots, we use lenses like 16mm lens, 35mm lens, 50mm lens, right? Prime lenses, if you talk about, they are between 36 to 70mm. If you talk about zoom lenses, anamorphic lenses, like if you want to achieve that anamorphic feeling, we go to 85mm lens and 150mm or 200mm, right? You can do that thing also here, right? So there are presets here available, 12mm, which is a wide shot, right? And the image will get like in circular format, basically fisheye format, right? And if we go to like 50mm, it's a general thing which we use. So you can see that we are getting a really good result in this, but I want more. So I can go like 85mm and I'm getting this nice depth of field and all this thing here, right? See. So now what I can do, I can just move it backward and downward as per my requirement, as per my shot, right? We can move it like this, the shot which we want. So basically, let me reduce my camera speed, right? So let us just go slowly like here. Okay, and if you want, you can use this. Okay, sorry. Where it is, there is an option here to view the proportional grid. Basically, you can view like 2:2 grid, 4:4 grid. I don't know where it went. It's here only somewhere. Yeah, I'm not seeing that, but there is a grid which you can use like proportional grid. Okay, so let's just eyeball this. Okay, what we can do.
Think you are not in cinematic view. That's why you.
Okay. Yes. Right. Thank you. Yes. Okay, so like let's just go to our cinema camera actor. Yes, now we are getting the good result. Okay, so now let's just revert it back. See, okay, 85mm lens. So basically it was around 20. So this is the result which we were getting. Then we move on to 15.062 or something. Okay, now we are getting that cinematic result. Now there is easy thing to give the animation. It's really easy. Just decide how much time you want. So if you want a really slow camera movement, you can increase your frame rate. Basically 24 FPS is a good thing if you are using it for film. If you are using it for games, you can go it up to 30 FPS basically. Okay, so we will go to 24 FPS and we can increase this. Okay, right, and we can increase this also. So we will just zoom it out. Okay, we can go, I think, till 250. Okay, and then we can just go like this. Okay, something like this. Okay, now what we can do, we can animate two things here. Okay, you can animate sun also. I will show you that quickly how you can do that. But you basically, I just animate two things here. First is the manual focal distance and second is the transform. So what I do first, I just auto key, enable the auto key here, right, which automatically adds the key, because I am a Maya guy. I don't like that every time we have to press S button to give the key. So I just enable it here, just auto key function, and I will just click here. So it's going to give all the animation, means all the keys to location, rotation, and scale. If you want only on rotation, you can click this button, right? So what I would do, just go to last frame and I will just animate my camera here. Okay, something like this, not going too much far, something like this. And what I would like to do, I will, if you see here, no, it's like going from slow, then it will go fast. So it's giving a curve here. I want a linear animation. So if you want to visualize, no, you can see it here also. So if we go to the show animation key in curve editor and just click here, no, all right, camera component transform. So see, you can see here, there's a curve, right? You can either change it here or you can directly change it here. So just select the keys that you want and just right click it and set it to linear. Okay, this is the basic thing which we learn in Unreal. So now the animation is in linear form, right? Camera animation is in linear form. So there is not any fast or slow movement in the camera. Now I'm liking this result a lot. But what I want now, that I want to add like depth of field in here, right? I want that like focus should start from here and end it to here, or that island which is far away, right? I can do that also. Now there are two options. You can manually do that, or you can animate, like track the camera also. If you want that your focus should remain on this object, you can do a tracking thing. Or if you want, like, see again this tracking thing which I did in starfish chain, I just click that starfish and it will remain the focus on that starfish only, right? And we can do this here. I will just go to manual. You can preview that how your focus is going. Basically just click on the object first, right? And just now on this draw debug focus plane, Now the plane which you see, basically, if you have used Max or Maya, if you have worked with render engines, so there is depth, like Z depth pass. This is that thing only, which we can visualize. In Nuke also, we can visualize the depth of field also. So this is the same thing basically. Now just we can on and off it. So now you can see that this is the thing. Now I will go to last frame. Basically, I will just click on this manual focal distance. I will go to last frame and I will just again pick the picker and pick this thing. So now the focus has gone away, right? And it has animated because I set this to auto key basically. So now what we can do now, if you see, with play, see, you can see that focus is shifting from plant to that island, right? As you can see here. Okay, it's taking a really long time because it's really slow shot. I can move the keys forward if I want, that I want my animation to be fast. I can do that, right? So I will not do that here right now. So I will just off this thing. So now it's ready. It's like really good. Now you can play with your focus, right? You can go like 1.2 also. It will give a really good depth of field. See, 2 and 1.2. You cannot go beyond 1.2. Basically, it's not possible real world wise. I don't know. Again, I'm not that camera guy. But if you want in Unreal, you can go it to like 0.1 also to get that depth of field, right? Okay, so this is looking good. Now what I want some type of sun animation, right? I did in that scene basically, that exterior scene. Just a second, this much folders here. Basically, if you watch closely, here it is. Basically, there is a little animation of the sun, little bit, not that much. See here, as you just keep seeing here. See, now see here. It went from light to dark. Basically, there was just a subtle animation of the sun, like around 4 to 5 units, not that much. But you can see here. See, if you closely watch here, you can see that. See, shadows are moving. Basically, it's a subtle animation, and I'm getting this weird artifacts due to that water animation. Right? It's looking really good. Okay, now what we can do, we can again go back to this. We want a somewhat sunrise to sunset, between sunset to sunrise, right? We can do that. So what we need to do, first we need to add it here. So how to add? So it's easy, just drag and drop your animation. See, again, the animation which I did of that bear, it's same thing. Just I drag and drop the character and just I click the animation and which animation I want. And that bear was roaring and sitting idly. It was all that thing only, right? So just let me just go here. Where it is, where is my direction right here? Just drag and drop it here. And it's already here. Now what I need to do, it's giving me an intensity tab, it's giving me a light color tab basically. But I want the transformation tab, because with the help of transform rotation, basically Y rotation, I'm going to control that sunrise to sunset. So what I can do, just click on this track, what you want. I want transform controllers. I think Karan covered it in the sequencer, right? But we are again saying it just for the sake, if anyone has not yet watched that, or if anyone is beginner, right? So let's just add the transform node here. And what we can do, now we can animate it. Okay, so let's just start with this and we will go somewhat sunrise, not that much, because in like it's 24 FPS. So in 7 seconds, we cannot show that time lapse, right? It needs to be more than that. So what we can do, we can go to last keyframe, basically. Okay, last frame. And what we can do here, we can just go here and just manually type. So I know that minus 0.5 works great. See, okay, we can go it to like 2. Okay, and we can move it slightly this side, if okay, not that much, slightly. Okay, this much. Okay, it's not going to look realistic because it's not the real values, but basically I want to show the animation. See, as you can see. Okay, see, the sun is moving basically, and you can see that light is coming out. Okay, we can do that. It's not looking realistic because the values are not that real, because sun doesn't move like that fast in 6 seconds or 7 seconds, right? Again, we can just delete this key if we want, right? And we can go again to, if you want a realistic value, we can do that. Okay. Okay, Aja bhai. Again bug. Okay, this is starting from 240. I don't know why. Okay, 0. Okay, so let's just go here. Let's just check there is no animation of the sun. Yes, there is no animation. Okay, now what we can do, we have the key on the transform. We will go to last frame and just click the, if we can do it here also, huh? If you don't want to go inside, just click this and it will take it to there. So what we can do, minus 0.5, just a little bit, tad bit. Okay, so this is looking good. Now let's just watch. Okay, as we are approaching, the sunlight is also coming here. See.
You and me.
Okay, that's it. I don't want to go much more further in this animation. You can go if you want. So now the scene is ready. Okay, now the last option is to give the post-process effect. You can give it in Nuke also. You can give it in After Effects, Fusion, DaVinci Resolve, whichever post-processing software you want. But if you want to give it in Unreal, you can do that also. So let me just show you as we are having time again. Okay, so let's just go to post-process volume. So this is the really thing which enhance your scene or just like make it worse. Both things can be done here. Okay, so first is the bloom, which I keep it to standard, but in some scenarios I keep it to like convolution. So let me show you a render which I did. Again, it's not that realistic in scene wise, scale wise. I learned that later on. Okay, this one. Okay, and this took like 3 hours to render in 16 samples. So this is the scene, right? Like he's just sitting there. So this is using the convolution one. Okay, see. Okay, and you can see here in motion blur, no, it's not that good. See, you can see the black artifacts here. So we need to increase that to samples, but I was not having that patience because it took like 3 hours to render this thing. Okay, so again, we can use the convolution or standard method. If you go to convolution, you will see that there will be some like nice lens flare effect here. Okay, let me play it. See, you can see here. There are small lens flare basically. See, so you can use this if you want, right? Or if you want the standard one, you can use that standard one. I'm liking this convolution effect. Again, you can play it here, convolution size, convolution scale, convolution boost. Okay, this I'm not touching. Exposure. Okay, yes, chromatic aberrations, because we see chromatic aberrations in many movies. Basically, it's shifting of R and B, and we get the chromatic aberration. So what we can do, just watch it here. So let me go to 1. See, you can see that there is some chromatic aberration. Let me go to full screen, F11. See, you can see here the red lines we can see here. It's basically a chromatic aberration. Don't take it too much, but you can use a subtle effect like 0.2 or 0.3, right? So just okay, F11. Okay, and let's just take this post-processing effect, and 0.2 is enough for my scene, or 0.25. Okay, now let's just, if you want, you can use lens flare, but it's not going to look that good right here. So I'm not going to use the lens flare, because lens flare I would rather add it in the post effect if I want. Okay, let's go downward now. Vignette effect, as usual, you can give it here if you want, right? This vignette effect, or you can give it in the post process. Again, depends on you. White balance, yes, I want some temperature, right? So I will give like 5,000. Okay, now this is the reverse thing. In this temperature thing, if you go lower, no, it will go cool, and if you go higher, it will like be warmer much. So if let's just go to 2000, see, it's getting cooler. And if we go in the sun, no, basically direction light, it's reverse. Okay, I don't know why, but it's there. Okay, so now this is looking good. See the temperature thing. There's a subtle effect, but it's looking really good. Okay, again, tint, you can play with saturation, gain, gamma, offset, like we get in Nuke, basically all these things. Okay, again, I don't use this all things. Okay, ambient occlusion I am not using here. Okay, if we are doing an interior, no, if I get chance, I will also take an interior session, which we will use light maps, basically GPU light maps and CPU, both light maps we can use. Okay, so we are not using this, but obvious ray tracing we are not using. Global illumination, ray tracing we are not using. Yes, motion blur I want, but again, this scene is so slow that we are not going to witness any motion blur in this. Okay. Yes, if you are having a fast camera movement, no, something like this, again, a thing which I am working on. See, shot 2. Yeah, I've rendered it in Unreal 5 basically. There are many glitches here. See, you can see here the motion blur. See, basically. Yes, these are all the artifacts which I'm getting in Unreal 5. Maybe in Unreal 4 you will not get this, but in Unreal 5 you will get it, right? So you can see here, basically, this is the motion blur which I'm getting. See, so I have enabled it here, but this is the really slow moving scene, so I will not going to get any motion blur out of it. So if I want, I can just disable it, right? So I'm not going to use it because it's not of any use here. Okay, and that's it. I'm not using any reflections, so I'm not going to enable this. If you want, you can use, because I'm not using any reflections, there would be not be any effect here. Okay, again, this is the interior thing which we can use. Again, this is not much going to do anything here. See, it's not much effect here. Again, you can take screenshots if you like, huh? Just go here. I'm liking this thing. I'll go to 200. Okay, and see, again, the quality is improved. And this is the render you are going to get, huh? Not this one. See, not this render you are going to get. You are going to get this render in movie. So now you can see, this is the lens flare I'm talking about. See here. And if I take it to standard, no, you will not get this lens effect. See, again, let me go upward. Okay, why I'm scrolling, I can just take it from here to here. Okay, see, standard. You are not getting that lens flare effect, right? In convolution, you are getting it. See, so again, it depends on you, on your scene, what you want, right? See, so this is looking nice, and this is the result you are going to get. So let me go to full screen by pressing F11. See, so this is I want, and I have animated the foliage here. You can just double click on the mega scan foliage and just enable the wind there. I will just show you quickly how to do that. First, let me grab the screenshot of it. So high resolution screenshot, and just click here. Okay, and that's it. And here is the scene I was talking about. See, right? This is the result I'm getting. Again, there are some weird artifacts going on here and here, right? Which we can improve again. But I know that it's due to this cloud, right? The clouds are coming down. I need to move them upward. So you can see here, the clouds are touching this water thing. Okay, again, like that hemisphere issue is there. Okay, so just let me go outside. Okay, again, you can see the result we are getting. So now you can add many elements here, whichever you want. See, I was talking this thing. See, you can see the clouds are going inside. Yeah, so we need to move it upward a bit and it would go. Okay, so again, we will move to the cinema actor. Okay, this thing, and I will go from quality 200 to 100. I don't want this much quality right now. Okay. Okay, again, we are back to the pavilion. So let me just go to F11. Okay, now what we can do, again, we will go to post-process effect, and I will just take the camera here. Okay, we will go scroll down. Okay, and that's it. That's not much here to show. If you are using a post-process like materials, you can use here, but I'm not using any post-process material. I am currently learning Niagara, so I can implement like smoke, dust, fog, right? Rather than using that volumetric fog, which is not giving me a result exponential height fog. I can use my own fog in Niagara, so I am learning that. If I'm getting comfortable, I will take the session if you guys give me a chance, basically. So let's just move forward. Now the last thing is that the scene is completed. Now I want it to render. So there are two options basically which you can use. You can use here, like render this movie to a video or image frame sequence. You can do this, or what I like, no, I like to do it from a movie render queue. So again, you need to enable it. Go to edit, again plugins, and you need to restart it. So movie render queue, and just enable this both things, right? So I have enabled it already. I will go to cinematics, movie render queue. Okay, and just add the shot which you want. So I'm having lots of shots here. Okay, I will just click this one, which was session. Okay, again, this is all the things which you need to create one by one, but I have made a preset here, which will load all the things for me. This is my render settings basically. So what it is that, let's just go one by one. Okay, let me just click here. Okay, again, clear config. Okay, first thing I want not a JPG sequence, so I will delete it. I want a EXR sequence, right? So I will just click EXR. The next thing I want is I want to control the anti-aliasing. So what I can do, anti-aliasing. So guys, this is the really good option which will remove all the blur in the which we get in the sequence, which we get in, like, let me show you. Again, this thing here. Okay, mask. Okay, sequence 4K render. Okay, let me open this. Okay, yes, this is 4K. This is the result I'm getting. So basically, let me move forward. See, this is the artifacts I'm talking about. See here. So it was like 1:16 samples. If I have moved it to 32 or 64, I would get a proper motion blur, not these artifacts. Basically, you can see that half of arm is like going away. This thing we like receiving when we are doing green screens. Basically, if we pick the color and there is much motion blur, we get this result, this type of result. So to eliminate this, we need to increase our samples to like 32 or 64. But again, it's going to take much longer time to render, right? You can see here that it's looking really good here. But here, if it's like 10 to 15 seconds, it's looking really bad. See, I cannot see my hands. This should not happen. So for that, we need to use the anti-aliasing. Again, this is the settings which I use, 64. But again, it depends on the scene. Now you need to override anti-aliasing because by default, it's using anti-aliasing, this one, FXAA, right? Or temporal, I don't know. Again, it's temporal 99%. So I need to override this thing. So I need that 64 passes should be there of 1 frame. Basically, it takes really long in this. I started with 64, but it was taking like 1 minute for each frame. So basically Arnold thing and V-Ray thing. And I thought that it's like for 0.5 seconds and it's not going to visible if I'm going to play this thing, right? If I'm going to play this thing, it's not going to get visible that much, right? It's visible here because it's taking my RAM here. Okay, it's a EXR raw sequence which I'm playing here. It's a DJV viewer which you can use again to preview your EXR files. But if it's going this fast, nobody's going to watch. So I compensated with like 16 anti-aliasing samples, right? So again, depend on your PC. If you are having a good RTX card like 3070 or 3080 or maybe 3090 24 GB, you can take it to 64. There's not an issue in that. Okay, next thing I like is to use console variables. Now, what are console variables basically? So if you want a motion blur quality of 4, I told you that 0 is enabled, 0 is disabled, 1 is enabled, then 2 improves the quality, 3 improves more quality, right? So you can like control it here. So there are console variables. If you search for Unreal console variables, you will get a link for it. See, Unreal console variables. Okay, so just type it here, Unreal console variable movie render key. Okay, and you will get this thing. So this is all the things I use. Okay, you can control everything. So I told you that you can force LODs on 0 in screen. Now you want this in your renders also, that you want all your assets to be high quality, maximum quality. You need to type it here. So basically start console command. Okay, console variables, just click it, just write it r.force. I think what was that? r.force LOD. Okay, you don't need to type 0 or 1 here, you need to type it here. So I type it 0. So 0 would be a force LOD quality, right? So you can do these things here. So I do things also. So basically what I do, Unreal has provided that you should use this if you want a good result. So I just copy paste it. Here it is. Okay, r.ambient occlusion denoiser 0. So disable these things because by default they are enabled and they don't play good with movie render queue. Basically, they say it here, right? So denoisers entirely if you have a high enough sample count 64, which we are using. Again, I'm not using grain, guys. Grain is an important thing when we are creating a cinematic shot. Grains we used to give when we are shooting from Alexa, RE cameras, so we are getting that grain. We want that in our scene also. But again, when you are using 64 anti-aliasing samples, the grain is going to be like vanished. It is going to vanish, right? Because you are like taking 64 passes to every frame. So if you are using grain from post-process, it is not going to be seen. So it's better if you are using movie render queue 64 like anti-aliasing samples, do it in post-process software, either Nuke or Premiere, right? You can do that. in any post-process software. So what I used to do, I just copy it, and as Unreal say, like create a variable and just do it again, second, third, fourth. Now I want a motion blur quality of like very high quality. So you can do that also, right? So if you go to another link, no, there they have mentioned how to do that. There are many links in there, huh? You can just search movie render queue. You will find all the things. See, this is the really good guide. They tell you that what you want, how you want. See, anti-aliasing, how you can control it, deferred rendering. See here, this is what I'm talking about. This 1 to 64 enabled. I'm using this only. They are telling that render warm-up count should be 120. So basically, when you click render, no, the first frame would be a warm-up frame, so that whichever settings you have used in post-process, no, it will adapt automatically. So if you are going like from brightness 0 to brightness 5, no, just give it some more warm-up frames to count, right? Like 120 or 125. So what would be there? Enough time when building the temporal history and simulation for them to settle before a frame is captured. For example, this would allow auto exposure. So we are not using auto exposure. So we are good with 0, right? But if you are using auto exposure and all that things, right? So good starting point before rendering out the first frame would be 120. Again, this is the thing. Okay, and these are the console variables, which I was talking about. So you want a good, really good depth of field. You can increase the quality to 4. Basically 0 is disable, 1 is enable, and it will further you go, the quality will be improved, right? But again, the render time is going to take much longer. It all depends on the things which you are doing, right? 64 anti-aliasing samples is going to take much longer. You are increasing the bloom quality, depth of field quality. It is again going to take much longer to render, right? So what I did, I just created a preset out of it, and I just create, like, you can here save your preset also, huh? And you don't need to do it again and again. Just save it once and just keep it on desktop. Whenever you create a new project, just keep it in your content library, right? Content folder, and it will be available here, right? I just click here, and what I do, I just change the output, right, where I want and what quality I want, and I just click the render local button, and it will just start rendering. So let me show you quickly, right? Okay, not this thing. Okay, let me see if I have any space. Indeed, right? Okay, it's there. Okay, so let me do one thing. See, again, the variables I was talking about. These are the variables. I just copy pasted from the Epic site, right? So what I would do, I would just change the output here. Okay, so just exterior sunset. I will create another folder, session. Okay, and just select it. I will not do all the frames basically, but I will just show you. So this will be the first frame, would be our warm-up frame. You can see here it's starting from -1. Okay, so this is the warm-up frame. Don't worry, you will get your result. Now, why I'm getting all these things? Because I have disabled frame from world setting, but I have not deleted them or not told that don't use this setting. So these settings are being used, and this is looking like really worse. But you can see here the subsample, like anti-aliasing is going on, right? And this is the render time, which you can see. This is not a high quality preview, it's a low quality preview, but you can see how much time it is going to take basically. So if you don't want that all the things to affect, just delete them, don't use them. So I am just going to delete all this thing. Okay, and one more thing I was using, I think exponential height fog, I will delete that also. Okay, so I think all things are deleted now, and I will again go to my Windows Cinematic Movie Render Queue. Okay, the folder and all other things are the same, and I will just render local. Okay, I'm using a laptop which is getting like really hot when I'm using this, but you are seeing that the quality which you are having, right? And you can see the noise here, right? But don't worry, in final render the noise would be clear because we are using a 64 samples. Okay, now just have a cup of tea or coffee as usual, like when we keep to simulate, like before rendering, if we use Houdini, we just simulate it when we are going to sleep, and when we wake up, maybe 30 to 40 frames would have been completed, right? So you can see here estimated time is like 27 seconds, but you can let it complete. I can say that from my like kind of research and development, this is going to take like 15 minutes. It's going to get down frame by frame. Again, it's all depend on your resources. So let me show you my task manager basically. See, it's not using that much CPU. It's not using that much memory. But if you see my like NVIDIA card, no, it's using 100 to 90 to 100%. and just let it open. If it's going like 95 degree, no, it means that your PC needs cleaning, basically. Because if it's going like really high, no, 95, 98, it's not that good for your graphic card. So make sure if you can just turn off the AC if you're using a laptop, basically. And if you're having a PC, just make sure that air ventilation is good. Okay. So just we can let it render, and just I can just click escape here and I can show you the result, basically. Okay. So what result we are getting? So it was in sunset session. See, this is the frame which I was talking about, which is not, you can delete it, right? It's just a warm-up frame. So just shift delete it. Okay, and just double click it. Okay, and you can see here, see, this is the result. There is no noise in the scene. See, you can see it clearly. We are getting a really good result. Okay, yes, there are jerks because we have rendered it fully, but you can see here. And yes, you can download this DJV viewer. It's free of cost. You can easily see your EXR renders in this. You can also change the workspace here, color workspace also. This is really good thing. So basically, if I want that AC's workflow, no, I can change that also to AC's workflow. If my computer is having that AC setup, basically, you can do that also. Okay, again, it's a new default. Basically, it's not a new default. It's a RGB setup. Okay, so like this, you can do all the things. One last thing I want to show, the thing which I talked about, that custom HDRI thing. So let me just, then we can take the question answers, and that if the time persists, I can show you that ocean also, water thing. Okay, just let me go to my Nordic. Okay, let me just go it here and Nordic beach. Okay, save selected. Okay, and again, these things get heavy, huh? If you are rendering 1 EXR, no 4K, it's going like 16, 17, 18 MB per frame. Okay, so let me show you what I have done in this scene. So again, my camera speed is too slow. Let me just increase it. Okay, so now you can see I'm using a HDRI also, I am using clouds also, and I'm using all the things which are available, right? Now what I was talking about now, see, you can see here, this is the thing, this lower hemisphere, right? So just let me go to directional light. So this all setup is same thing. What is changed here? No, let me show you that. So in skylight, I'm not using any sky atmosphere because HDRI is emitting that sky for me. So here you can see this sky distance threshold. By default, it's 15,000. Okay, so you can see this thing here. See, okay, why it's this color? Because I'm using SSGI basically, and I'm also using exponential height for. Okay, here it is. See, if I disable it now, I need to recapture it again. Okay, so you can see that that is the thing I was talking about, basically threshold thing. Okay, now let me just show you what I have done. So basically, this is a different method which I am using to get the custom, the way I want, lighting the way I want. It's not much. You can get HDRIs, really good HDRIs from HDRI Heaven or HDRI Skies. Basically, you can download it for free, 2K, and 2K is enough for Unreal, right? You can get like really nice results from these things. Again, reference is the most important part. The reference, you should have your reference image, the way you want your image to look as a reference image. That's the important part, right? Right. So what I can do, I have created a little HDRI material. So this is really simple material. Basically what I have done, I can recreate it here for you guys. I have just created a material. I just created a texture sample. Now you will get an error basically. What error you will get? See, let me show you. If you are just drag, no, you will get this error. See, this is the error, that texture sample UVW input required for cube map. So basically you need a UVW coordinates, right? So texture coordinate is not going to work because this is a HDR file, .hdr file, right? So what you need to do, you need to connect a absolute world position mode. If you press Control and Alt, no, you will see that if you are using an emissive material, no, for UV coordinates or for world position, you need to use this, right? So we are just connect this to UV and the error will be gone, right? See, now what I want, that I want to rotate my sphere like we do in HDRI if we are using HDRI like in V-Ray or in Arnold. So for that I added a rotator. So when I add a rotator, no, what happens? See, it's going to rotate like a merry-go-round. right? It's rotating, but I want me to control, right? So what I did, I just added a parameter by pressing S key and just left clicking it, and I connected it to the time, and now you can rotate HDRI here, see. So just let it update, see, you can see here, right? And then I added a emissive color, basically a multiply node, and again a parameter, so I can like control my intensity. So 2, again it will get much more brighter. Let's go to 100, like, see, you can see it's an emissive surface, right? If I go down now, you can see here also, see, right? So this you can control here. So it's a combination of all the things I'm creating. So basically, let me go to like default 1, and it's an unlit surface. Now guys, it's not the surface here, it's an unlit surface, right? It's not your default lit, it's an unlit surface. So only an emissive is going on. Okay, so I created that map. I'm not going to save it because I have like created a sun from that. Okay, so after that creation, what I did, I created a directional light, and I meshed that directional light according to my HDRI. So both the directional light and my HDRI light, both are at the same place. Basically, both sun are at the same place. Now the thing is that I need to write a blueprint if I want that when I rotate my HDRI, sun should also rotate with that. So I don't need to edit it again and again. So for example, if I rotate my HDRI, I again need to move my sun. Again, I rotate my HDRI, again I need to move my sun. Right? Parenting is not going to work. Why? Because directional light is going from here, and my rotation is going from material of this thing. Right? We can use HDRI, right, which is available here. It's not going to show me here because in play sector, if I go, I need to enable it basically in lights here. So if you want, you can use that HDRI also, and you can link that to your sun if you want, right? Just type it here, HDRI, and HDRI backdrop is already available. You can use that, but I'm not going to use that. Okay, so that's it. I created all the things which you see here, like post process, exponential, skylight, right? This is my sky sphere basically. How to get this sky sphere, guys? So you can get it easily. Let me delete it. Okay, so you can get it easily here. Go to engine content and just type it here, sky, and you will get this sky sphere. See, I think here it is. Yeah. Okay, just drag and drop it here. Now the size is really like not that big. See, so we can just increase the size here to 1000 or 10,000. 10,000 doesn't do anything. 1000 is the max. Okay, and now then you have created that material and you can connect it to here. So let me connect that material. Okay, which was in Nordic, I think. Okay, Nordic. Yes. So I can connect this HDRI to here. See, and I am getting that HDRI. See. Okay, now if you don't need clouds, you can just disable that, right? You will get this result. Okay, and the sun is positioned as HDRI was, because I know that my HDRI was having sun here. So I positioned my sun there, right? And you are getting this result, which is really good. This is custom HDRI, basically. You are creating a HDRI for yourself for your lighting purpose, right? And you can use that also. So this is just the thing which I explained. Now, one more thing, guys. If you want a quick result, no, you can get it, right? If I open this scene, like, let me delete all these lights. Just delete it. See, this is the sky sphere which I was talking about. This is giving the light, this nice reflections and light, basically soft light. Okay, I can delete this. Now, what you can do for the fast light purpose, no, just go to window, environment light mixer. First create a skylight, then create an atmospheric light, then create sky atmosphere, and then create volumetric light, and that's it. Now it would look like this, but what you need to do, just click on this like skylight, or not skylight, your direction light on and off, and you have got the result you wanted. Now it's just a matter of rotating the light and the result you want, and that's it. All the things are ready made. You don't need to do anything. So let me press Ctrl L here. Okay, again Ctrl L is not working, don't know why. Okay, so I will just rotate my light here. Okay, and another thing, whenever I click the object, no, this folder just gets open. So by mistake, if I click this, no, the folder will get open. See, this is the really annoying thing. See, right? So again, I need to scroll down. Okay, so directional light, and I can rotate it here. Right, so this is the sunset and sun rising we were talking about, right? And this is the thing. So you are getting the same result. But again, why I taught it from scratch, because you need to know that what settings you are playing with. Again, this all the things you can see here. So if you are having the second monitor, no, I'm not having it. Okay, so if you have a second monitor, you can just put it there and you can just tweak it from here rather than going again to sunlight. Okay, I have moved it. Okay, rather than going it to sunlight, again clicking it here, directional light, again skylight, again atmosphere, you can just do it from here. Again, this only displays this 4 tab. It doesn't work with rectangle light or spotlight, right? Light, like we do in Arnold, it's a light mixer node, a light mixer basically tab. It shows you all the light you use, but in this, it will only show these 4 lights because these 4 lights are only interconnected with each other. Rectangle light and the spotlight, they are not connected with these 4 elements, so they are not displaying that, right? It's basically related to environment. Spotlight, rectangle light, they all are artificial lights. These are our like natural lights, so they are only showing these 4 tabs. So that's it regarding the lighting of an exterior scene. You can use the custom one, you can create it from your scratch, because if we are using this environment tab, environment light, you will automatically get all these things. To movable, you don't need to do that. Again, this all the things will be on these things. Where it went. Yes, atmosphere, sunlight, all these things will be on. Yes, if you want this thing, you need to on it yourself. But all the other things would be on by default. You don't need to do anything. So you can use that, or you can use custom one, or you can like go step by step, which I showed, which I prefer basically. Because in these things, you don't know which options are on when which options are off. You need to study them. Basically, maybe this option should be off in when you add a directional light. When you add it from environment mixer, this option may be on. We don't know that. Either we need to check it by like keeping a 2 directional light and checking which one is getting which one is getting which one, right? So you can do that also, but I don't prefer this. For quick setup, you can do that. Like if you quickly want to lit your scene and like set dress your scene, set dressing, basically we call this set dressing. So if you want that and you want some light, then you can do that. But after getting the result you want, I would prefer that do lighting from scratch. Do as you want, do as per your reference, right? And as I told, you can have 2 directional lights also in the scene. One can be like a moon, one can like be a sun, or 2 can be sun, and you can play with both the settings. It's totally up to you how you want to achieve the light in the Unreal. Basically exterior lighting, not interior part, because interior part is totally different. And with Unreal 5, it has gotten much better. Basically now you don't need to bake the lights, right? Light baking has totally gone thanks to Lumen. Basically I have created these 2 scenes in Lumen only, right? This is all created in Unreal 5 basically. And one more scene I have created. Just let me show you. This is work in progress. I'm planning to add some character in the between. Just let me show you. This is a master shot I'm working on. It's going to be like tweaking. I'm going to tweak it a lot, but I'm like going for this shot. Basically, this is the shot I'm going. Right, I'm planning to add materials here, more elements here. So it's a work in progress basically. So I'm planning to add this thing. So this is also achieved with Lumen, but you can see that there are artifacts here. If you play it now, you will see here artifacts, like glittery artifacts. So if I had done in Unreal 4.26 now, it would be really good. But I was eager to use Lumen here. Okay. See. So you can do that also in Unreal 5. Okay. So any questions, guys, regarding this, on like lighting or any other thing, sequencer or any other thing?
Very nice session. Actually, you explained it very well, because small nitty-gritty and small doubt might be you have experimented, and you have resolved most of the things with your R&D, and you explained that properly. What I feel is very nice. Means small things you have explained properly.
Thank you.
So very nice. And the way you explain is very good.
Okay, thank you. Shardi sir, can we have just 10 more minutes? I would like to show the water thing also. If you
sure, no
give
problem.
Me 10 minutes.
Yes.
Sure. Thank you. Okay, so let's just create a new level. Okay, the water here is really easy, guys. What you need to do, just delete this surface. We will take this. We will delete all the things actually. Let's just take a blank scene. Okay, empty level, don't save. Okay, now what we can do, we can just create, yes, first thing you need to do, go to plugins and just type it water here, and you just need to enable this water plugin. Okay, that's it. It's an experimental phase. You will face many bugs here, but it's really good if you want to create a water scene. Like enable it, and just you need to restart the plugin and just create a landscape. Basically, I'm creating a plain landscape here. I'm not using anything. But when you are using water, no, just make sure enable edit layers is on. Okay, if it's off, no, the water is not working. Water is not going to work perfectly. I have learned it from YouTube only, Unreal YouTube channel. So I learned that you need to enable this thing if you want the water to interact properly. And another thing, it's going to compile the shaders also. So just enable it. I'm not going deep in this. I'm just going to create. Right. So I've created this thing, and I will just create lights quickly here. Okay. So I will just use this environment light mixer, create skylight, create atmospheric, create skylight, atmosphere, and volumetric clouds. Okay. So just on and off the direction light, and you are getting the result you want. Okay. I will just transfer it to here. Okay. I will just minimize this, and I will get out of the landscape mode, and you can see that we are getting a really good result. Right now, what I want, I will just apply a material to this, right? So I can see what it is working. And water plugin is really good. It will automatically generate the surface. Like if we go on the beach, no, the water gets shallow and deeper the way we move forward, right? We get the surface when we halfway, then we move forward, then we need to swim. So basically that's the thing which you can achieve in this water plugin. Also, you can create an underwater shot also, right, with the help of this water plugin. So that's really good thing. I want to export that thing. Let's just create a material. So Thai beach sand, right? So let's just apply this material. Just drag and drop it. Okay, sorry, not drag and drop. Landscape and then drag and drop it here. Okay, if you guys want to learn how to create a like 2-layer material or 3-layer material which have a grass at top, when you like elevate it, I have conducted a material function session also. If you go into LinkedIn group now, you will find it how to create like a material function for that, for landscape material. It's in part 3, I think. Okay, just let me keep it here. Okay, now the tiling is the issue here. Okay, so just we can tweak it here. Just double click it and just go to tiling and offset and just reduce it. I know from my R&D, it's that 0.3 goes really well. Okay, and another thing you want is the mannequin for your real world reference. Okay, don't forget that. Okay, so texture, and again you can see it's not having displacement that much, right? Because I haven't enabled it, but it's okay. Okay, mesh and character here. So you can see here it's working really good. Now what we will do, we will just go to place actors. We will add the water. Just type water. Now, if you want an ocean or river type, if you have created a path with a spline, no, you can apply a water body river. Like a river will be following the ocean. You can create a material like animation like that also. But we are going to create a water body ocean. Just drag and drop it, and just like when you zoom out, no, you will see the water. Now I have created it already, so it's not going to compile. But if you are using it for first time, no, it is going to compile. It will take like hardly 1 minute to process it based on your landscape. But when you go forward, no, here, like see, you can see here that it's having a like slope. See, so I can go here and it's going deep. Now if I go upward, no, see, you can see the water. Okay, you can control this also, guys, with the help of this spline. So if I click this spline, no, and not this spline, whole spline. So just go to world outliner, click on that water body ocean, press R, okay, again, and just like you can control it here. See, again, this is the artifact, right? So don't worry about it, it would go away. So you can control it here. So how much the slope you want. Now, as you can see here, no, guys, this is default one. So if I'm taking this, but as you can see here, see, there is the bump here. So you can control that also. Just press W and how much deep you want. See, basically island tide, right? If I go upwards, it will fill it with water at certain time, right? But just make sure that if you want a flat surface, just make sure that it gets flat pretty much here. Okay, and that's it. Now you can control the water also. Like I have controlled it in my scene. It's easy to control it also, right? just go to water body ocean. Again, I've not played it that much with this thing, but I can show you the basic things, what I do basically. So basically I go from alpha here, angle, fall off mode, right? Unreal guys who have created this water plugin, they tell that go with width, it's blending really nice with the surface. So I just click on the width, okay, and it's going to blend really nice. The other thing I do, right, I just go here. See here, you can see it's written Gratian water ocean, right? And if you click here, no water source, now I want to control the amplitude and all that things, wind and all that things. So what you can do in wave source, just click it here and just click Gerstner water waves. So what it would do, it would give a tab in waves, see, and if you open it, no, it will give you all the number of waves you want, see, basically your stormy ocean you want, right? Just let me just go it here, okay, see, number of waves, how much waves you want. Basically it's controlled by here, see, you can see it here, right? 34, 10, 20, default is 16, I think. Yes, default is 16. Okay, variation you want in water, you can go with the seed also. Wavelengths, so what is minimum wavelength and what is maximum wavelength? So if you want like a slow, really like a large ocean, like big waves, you can target it from here, but I generally keep it down for my scene because I don't want that much waves here, right? So this is looking good. I can go it more further down. I don't want that. Okay, now the amplitude is too much, guys. I want to reduce it. So in amplitude, just reduce the maximum amplitude and it would be like calm ocean. See, that's it. So you can just play with all these settings, directions, wind angle, all these things you can play with and you can get a really good result. And another great thing about this water is if you click on the play button, no, this character is going to react with water. See. So again, he's not going to swim when he's going inside, but you can see this thing, right? So if you want, you can create a whole underwater scene here, which I did in my coral scene, in that starfish scene. So basically, if you want to, you can drag and drop assets here, and it will interact with water. See, just let me show you quickly. So if I Thai beach, coral, okay, stone, rocks, yes, here. So let me just put it here. Let me just resize it, rotate it. Okay, just press Ctrl W. Okay, and just press it inside. See, and if I press F now, see, you can see that water is interacting with this thing. So it's looking really nice, right? You can interact with water and you will get the effect. See, it's interacting with the water really nice. So what I did in my scene, no, just let me show you. And yes, if you want like foam and all that things, so you can get that in the material option also, huh? So if you want, go to water material, no? There are lots of options here for the foam, for scalar parameters, all these things you can change here. Water shading, anisotropy, refraction, reflection, water albedo, freshnel, roughness. You can just change it here if you want. You can create your own material, right? There are lots of things. If you want to see how this material was created, right? You can see it here. Okay, parent material. All these things are here available. So I will just close this thing. I will open my macro shot. Okay, again, I will like, basically if I had, okay, great, I deleted this. Okay, I need to load the level. Sorry. So Nordic macro shots. Okay, don't say. Okay, so just, it's not looking that great, but if I click this camera, no, and I move to that camera, see,